since the Western Clash.
It's insane. And at the Western Clash, again, that's an international tournament where they went up against the best international teams in the Western scene. So it's not only restricted to the league back at home. Fnatic now in the lead against the Ducks with a 1-0, and we're heading into Infernal Shrines, and let's find out if maybe the Ducks can end the win streak right here.
This is a battleground that the Playing Ducks are usually confident on. They love the idea of racing towards 10 by getting the experience through structures in the first couple of phases on the Punishers. They've been mixing it up a little bit as of late, but I would say about 70% of their games, they ignore the couple of Punishers and move straight into 10 as quickly as possible and just defend, defend, defend.
Yeah, it's... After the Rexa pick on the first map, I'm actually curious to see if Fnatic is still going be willing to just experiment with a few of those. For the solo lane, I think Rexa actually did fairly well, and especially since they didn't have heavy dive or massive burst against them, I think that was actually worth the pick. So it was a pretty cool adjustment to see. We know that they are already qualified, so again, this is more about an exhibition match at this point. For the Ducks, it's also a lot about like field testing their new setup right now. As they've said in the past, it's all about the Crucible play. And Fnatic bans out a hero that has seen more and more popularity on this map. Leoric, it is his best map with the current Royal Focus and Ominous Wrath build.
Especially around those Punishers, just constantly coming in there, being a spooky ghost, has an easy escape route, can head back to the team easily, stops the clear of the minions by reducing damage just a little bit too much. He's banned out. ETC will be grabbed here by the Playing Ducks, so we will see Sport Billy on the cow.
So, of course, that immediately opens up the question, what happens with Uther? Is Fnatic willing to take Uther early? Are they heading into something along the lines of Uther and Genji? Do they ignore that and let the Playing Ducks have the combo with Divine Shield? Dehaka could be a pick by them that would force ETC probably into the top lane, into the solo lane instead. So they could also try to work around it a bit. And then pick Rhaegar, which is overall a hero that caters more towards the map than Uther does with the added wave clear that he has.
Both teams will have to also worry about that gold dam that could be coming in the mix. We've been seeing it from both of them. With the Greymane copping out, probably not going to get it from Fnatic, but it's still an option for the Playing Ducks. It will be your Uther and Greymane for the pickup for Fnatic.
Right now, when we're looking at European drafting, it's a lot about ETC, Genji, and Uther. The three heroes that really have so much synergy together. So with a first pick, usually picking one of the three, you will see the opponent immediately jump to taking something of that synergy away. And Fnatic did exactly that by picking Uther. So they are willing to go up against Genji as well, as long as there is no Dragon Blade. And at this point, the Ducks, of course, have to still consider that Fnatic could later on in the draft use Genji for themselves, which means that there is a chance that they are going to ban him out. Greymane adds a lot more on the map though, because of the added wave clear, and the cocktail can really provide a lot of minion stacks on the objective. Even if you don't have the position on the shrine itself, you can safely stand on the outside and just throw the cocktails in. The Ducks now go for Rhaegar. As I explained a bit earlier, he's better for the map itself, caters more towards the objective, but of course with Uther it's that synergy that you're really looking for. And at the same time, we have Fnatic still in a situation where they could play the double support. Now, they are the European team that plays the least double support, but they still have shown it when they feel it absolutely fits to the comp. Yeah,
it's not like they can't play it at all. It's just they prefer to go for high aggression, high mobile kills. They like to force opponents into situations where they get picked off. Now, with the Ducks having the gold in, they'll be able to match that Greymane around the shrine. So we might actually see a little bit of an earlier shrine pressure from the Playing Ducks, a little bit atypical compared to what we normally get from them. Dehaka being banned out will prevent the Playing Ducks from grabbing both ETC and Dehaka later on. We've seen them mix up occasionally there with Eternal willing to play it. But I'm expecting from the Ducks probably some Sonya gameplay. Eternal seems to really enjoy that hero, especially when you put him in tandem here with the ETC and the Rhaegar.
They could definitely play Sonya. What the Ducks do first of all is, as expected, they ban out Genji. So they know that Fnatic in the draft later on can get the synergy with Uther, so Genji is being banned. And now for Fnatic, they can start thinking about their front line. And this is where there's a couple of options actually for them. We could see them play, let's say with Diablo for example. Breeze loves to play Diablo on the map. Infernal Shrines is next to Tomb of the Spider Queen the best map for Diablo hands down. Then you have always options where you could, for example, even supply a Medivh as another pick so that you have the Apocalypse combination. But even alone, Diablo is already fantastic. And if you, for example, feel that Uther alone is not really going to give you enough heal, then you think about a second healer. And in that setup, we could see them with Diablo and Tyrande going to a good Toon Triad combo, getting the stuns in and the kills. You have Greymane as well, which provides a lot of burst damage. Can chunk in a mage then later on if you wanted to. So there's a lot of options right now how they can just simply go into the draft and like a flexibility, what kind of style they want to play. They want to play more of a snipe combo. There's Diablo.
And Arthas.
And Arthas as the follow-up. Okay, so they can still go into Toronto though. But with Arthas now, they have even more presence on the shrine itself and can follow up anything that Diablo does with another Howling Blast.
Arthas also does a pretty good job of keeping Gul'dan in a spot where he is terrified of being engaged upon. Granted, you can chuck him down with the Fell Flames, but being able to go into Army of the Dead gives him enough sustain to be by himself and also keep your opponent from backing up. So Fnatic looking pretty darn good for this battleground so far. Playing Ducks now will need to find maybe a little bit more damage here. Gul'dan's not known for being a finisher. He'll clear things out like crazy when it comes to minion waves, to shrines, and also choking down your opponent. But you need that kill potential, something that can follow up and make sure to get those kills. Yeah.
And with a follow-up now, well, first of all, for the Ducks, follow-up for anything that Gul'dan could throw out, it would be really nice for them. The problem is that Uza, if he gets close enough, can just simply drop the Divine Shield as well. So I'm a little bit worried for the Ducks with this already. I like it. They actually take Tyrande away. I'm pretty sure that Fnatic would have opted into the Tyrande as the last pick still, but right now we have Tyrande plus ETC, which is also a great comp. It's also pretty solid. But I think for the Ducks, there were two thoughts here. First of all, they get more early game pressure by power slide into Tyrannistan, and they were probably pretty afraid of the Tyrande on the side of Fnatic, since Diablo can combo with Tyrande, Arthas can combo with Tyrande, and even if the two of them are together, they can just like get stun in after stun and the extra damage Greymane delivers. Arthas has decent damage output, so I like very much that the Ducks picked Tyrande as the last pick. I think it was great. And Malthael is also a really good pick against Diablo in particular. Diablo is sitting at 9,000 hit points towards the later stage of the game. And I love this.
It has been forever since we've seen a Kerrigan. The last Kerrigan we saw was in Phase 1 with Xayah playing it. Did not work out for them at all, as Dignitas actually got stomped in that match. But Kerrigan?
First of all, it's not only Kerrigan. First of all, I love Kerrigan. And I love that Fnatic today is willing to throw out a couple of things. You want to have a Rexa? Getting a Rexa. You want Kerrigan? Here's a Kerrigan for you. And you know what we also have? We have the old school 2015
Arthas Kerrigan roam.
Arthas Kerrigan roaming.
You land the Howling Blast, Kerrigan comes in, drops that combo, and that target is probably dead.
2015, Haunted Mines, old school, Envenom, level 4, Arthas Kerrigan roaming the entire time, double Envenom, dead.
There was a team that was actually good because they ran that combo, and the moment you banned it out, they actually fell apart. I think it was...
I think there was more than only one team. That combo was so imbalanced.
That was when Kerrigan had, like, the range. Like her range is, like, right now here, but she was like this. She just, like, fanned everyone and pulled them all in.
So... They don't have that anymore, guys. But back then on level 4, you had Envenom, and that was just damage over time. And we're talking, of course, about like it was alpha, beta times.
Yeah, and Glorious exclamation mark was known for running it with CP back in the day.
Everybody just ran that. It was so good, and especially on Haunted Mines, which was one of the. We had like how many maps did we have back then? 4 or something.
Yeah, Cursed Hollow,
Haunted Mines,
Blackheart's Bay, Dragonshire.
Yeah, and that was it. So we had 4 maps back then, and that very few heroes, and that was one of the big combos. If you could get Arthas Kerrigan in your mix, and after level 4, heroes just dropped like flies everywhere. Double Envenom, 1 combo pulled off, Arthas with a Howling Blast, goodbye. That duo alone just killed entire teams. Now the things have changed, heroes have been completely reworked, but it's so cool and a bit nostalgic to see the two on the side again. And that's a heavy front line, but the question still remains if Fnatic can pull it off. They drafted it, now they just have to win with it.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at the Playing Ducks, and I want a Starfall Tyrande here, actually, for just how many melees are in the way. You can slow down your opponent when they come in for the engage. But looking over to Fnatic, it all comes down to them. They are the ones that are going to be bringing in the pressure and the damage between the Kerrigan, the Diablo, and the Arthas. They intend to get some kills. The question is, can they get the kills, or will the Playing Ducks do enough to stop them?
I also want to see who's on Kerrigan, because my heart says Wooby.
I think it has to be Schwimpy,
right?
My
brain says Shrimpy.
Yeah, it has to be Schwimpy.
It has to be Shrimpy, but the original was Wooby.
Was it?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll let him play it here, as he's having a lot of fun already playing the Rexar. So we're getting ready for game number 2. We have a Kerrigan coming in here for the Playing Ducks. Let's go ahead and see if it's going to work out for them on Infernal Shrines, and see if the Playing Ducks can stop that Kerrigan from taking them out.
Game number 2, everybody. The Swedish boy band with Smexy on Arthas. Breeze on Diablo. We have Quacknix on Greymane. Shwimpy is playing the Queen of Blades, and Whoopi is currently on Uther. So we have a bit of a role swap here today. Apparently Whoopi has discovered his affinity for support.
Fnatic has come out and they're looking to entertain. The Playing Ducks on the right side, here they are. Nande will be your Tyrande player, Wolf Joe on Rhaegar, Sport Billy on ETC, Chris on Gul'dan, and Eternal on Malthael. Now, we've talked about Uther and Divine Shield on Genji, or Uther and Divine Shield on a Malthael for that Tormented Souls, but the original combo that you would have was a Kerrigan jumping in with Maelstrom. Why? Because of her trait. When she has a Maelstrom, it's proccing on multiple members, she's getting a shield built up. So you can literally have her jump into a fight, drop Maelstrom, get Divine Shield, and become tankier.
And Shrimpy starts with Kerrigan with a whiff combo.
Perfect.
So the thing here, I mean, first of all, we have a couple of role swaps, as you can see, and this is definitely a fun game. Keep in mind that Fnatic is already confirmed for BlizzCon, Playing Ducks are confirmed for the Crucible. So the score in this series in particular does not really matter for any of the standings that we currently have. At the same time, Fnatic, I actually talked to them a bit of how much the record means for them, the win streak, because they're currently sitting at 17-0. And they actually said it's not really important to them. It's nothing where they actively go into the game and say, okay, we have to increase our win streak right now. We have to really focus on that in any way. So they are currently, of course, still trying to win. But as you can definitely tell, they are willing to experiment a bit. And a great combo. Wow. Breeze goes straight in with a combo, immediately followed up by Shrimpy, and Smexy is ready with a Howling Blast to lock ETC down, and that results in the first blood of the game.
And that was some great layered aggression. Sport Billy even knew that combo was coming out, but he held onto his power slide, making sure that he didn't get interrupted so he can go for the escape. But it was just a little too much. Another combo from Shwimpy will be a dead Malthael.
Yeah. And they are going for kill after kill. That's a cool thing about having any kind of Kerrigan composition. You know that you have a very aggressive and strong early game, so you need to try and find these kills, because Kerrigan oftentimes falls off later on a bit and is easier to control. But in the early game, this is where with roaming you are trying to get it.
Exactly. I know there's going to be some Kerrigan mains now after watching Shwimpy play on this match, so again, in the early game you need to be aggressive, but also consider what your team comp has before you pick a Kerrigan. You need to have follow-up CC, having an ETC is great, having some kind of engage, and having an Uther are all great things if you're wanting to pick up a Kerrigan and play her. Do have another combo coming out, it will hit the Malthael. But as mentioned, hang on, let's watch this first here. The Thornell goes around and puts some damage out. Looks like he's fine. Kerrigan in the early game can do pretty good, but she starts to fall off around level 10 if you don't have a decent lead. If you're falling behind, it's going to start hurting. And you won't have another power spike until 16, where you get aggressive defense. So you have to make sure that if you are playing Kerrigan, that you get that lead for your team. Yeah,
so we have now Celestial Attunement already taken by Tyrande. That's going to be a huge tool to try and deal with all of these combos that are coming out, because Fnatic has an immense amount of CC that they can utilize. Especially later on, they will actually be able to rely on Breeze here in particular. Nice jump by Shwimpy, jumping out and trying to save himself. He might still fall here, but that was a very good attempt to move out of harm's way. At this point, we still have the lead on the side of Fnatic when it comes to the stacks, but not for long, as the Ducks have taken complete control over the Shrine and will walk away with the first Punisher.
That was a display of the danger of running a Kerrigan. If you whiff your combo, the opposing team is going to turn around and engage upon you. With that ETC being able to power slide in right away, Kerrigan, even with their fancy maneuver to jump out, does not have many tools except for an auto attack afterwards. Gets caught out, Playing Ducks take this Punisher and they charge for it.
Yeah, at this point, it's all about the defense, and because it's such a melee-heavy setup that we're seeing for Fnatic, it's really difficult for them to make stuff like this work. Quacknix wants to get the kill, and they're aggressively pushing and completely ignoring the Punisher for now. Wolfjoe is really low, and Chris turns around for some damage, but it could still end up with a kill against them, as we now have Tyrande completely out of position thanks to Breeze. Moves in, flips her over, pushes her into the rest of the team, and that results in kill number 3 for Fnatic.
Maybe another one here. There it is. Kill number 4 from another combo. Sport Billy is the next target. Try to use some abilities to stop the disruption from happening from his teammate, but that leaves him vulnerable. 5 kills come in, and Fnatic on their way towards level 7.
Yeah, Fnatic is absolutely on a rampage right now. But you know what I'm afraid of?
What are you afraid of?
Mosh pit against this, I mean, there are a lot of interrupts, don't get me wrong, but if at any point Fnatic tries to go for a kill into a backline and they don't get it, and ETC gets the slide in the mosh pit with such a melee-heavy composition, it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to avoid it. So after level 10, they will have to be very cautious in the team fights about what they do.
I'm afraid of the area effect damage in general for the Playing Ducks. Starfall, Horrify coming in, the ETC moving in, Gul'dan chunking, with the Tormented Souls following afterwards. The Playing Ducks are going to be looking to punish any combos that do miss, so I'll continue to watch Shrimpy here. Smexy on the bottom side helping out Quacknix as we have Sportbilly going in for a fight. Eternal looking for this chase here, not going to be able to get the kill as Fnatic disengages.
Yeah, Fnatic on the move back here already, at least for now. The experience is nearly the same. They have a slight lead, but nothing too crazy. Shouldn't really lead to a big talent advantage during the next Shrine fight. And for now, the Ducks, of course, are still in a decent spot. It's about the next Punisher. It's really about trying to get a bit farther ahead. If the Playing Ducks can get to level 10 until then they have a lot of tools where they can work around the opponent. Already they have a couple of tools available with Celestial Attunement and the Cleanse, but as we are seeing then also Ancestral Healing coming into play, and Mosh Pit plus Haunt has of course, or Horrify, there's of course going to be a lot of great tools for the Ducks to play around Fnatic's pressure play with those stunts.
Assimilation Mastery getting picked up here. I actually really enjoy this talent. We don't normally see it as often on Kerrigan players, but the idea is when you're working your auto attacks and getting those traits up, you'll be able to keep having your mana pop in. That's really good around the minion shrine up here on the top side. Constantly having those shields available will allow for you to get that regeneration popping in, which means you won't have as many mana issues, which can be an issue if you're not hitting your combos as often in fights.
And talking combos, they're hitting them one after another. Once again, another kill, and this time it's Rega who has just died. Fnatic also getting, thanks to Shrimpy, a massive lead when it comes to the minion stacks up here at the top. And yeah, with the Ducks now still being behind in experience, they're just not willing to fight for it. They know that level 10 is going to drop for Fnatic. Wooby, by the way, still on Uther here doing his thing, and Smexy. I mean, Breeze needs to be careful. Smexy is starting to really make a name for himself as a tank player. Those Howling Blasts, man.
Confirmed Wubby, new healer for Fnatic as we move into BlizzCon.
Can you imagine how much fun it must be for Smexy right now every time he dies just to yell at Wooby and say like, where's my healing? Just blame Wooby and Blade the healer for once.
Where was my cleanse?
Where was my cleanse? Dude, what are you doing?
Support's so easy. Smexy, man, loving it. It's cool to actually see them do this variety too, because remember we had Breeze play Sylvanas in MSB too? Yeah. Having some mix-ups here and there. Always fun and kind of keeps the team in a lighthearted mood.
Yeah, definitely. The Divine Shield missing or something. It's like, dude. Smexy's gonna go Syndragosa.
You think so?
Yes. Yeah, it's Smexy. He's gonna go Syndragosa, yeah.
He is bottom lane.
I would argue that right now Smexy's like, boys, can I go Syndragosa? And they're like, oh, no. He's just like, oh, please. I think he's gonna go Syndra.
They already have a tank. Could work out for them.
Yeah.
Breeze goes forward, goes for the full combo. Oh. Shrimpy follows it up perfectly there. Sportbilly missing out on the Moss due to the Horrify popping out. And Quacknix and the rest of the crew continue to chase forward as ETC dies as well.
Yeah, 8 kills against 1, and Fnatic is just absolutely destroying at this point, doing so much work here. The top wall has fallen down here. They're going straight through the fort, and things are just not looking pretty for the Playing Ducks right now. Fnatic is having a lot of fun with this one, and they are completely hammering it. Also, noteworthy is really that once that we see Breeze going to domination and everything on 16, like, I mean, seeing him on Diablo is already frightening enough, but once that he hits those later stages of the game, the plays that he can make with a hero are absolutely crazy. Malthael is going to be his biggest threat, but so far, didn't really have the impact.
Not a threat there. 13 and 16 are great Diablo tiers, being able to grab that quest. At 13 allows for you to combo people into the wall and, of course, land out extra damage when you finish it is always good. And the 16 overpower that you mentioned.
I mean, just think about the Ducks' position right now. They can't move out. Like, there is so much that can punish him. The Queen of Blades jumps in. The Lord of Terror is up against you. If you just move out a little bit too far at any of these attempts where they are trying to defend, then immediately there's going to be a Howling Blast, there's going to be Breeze charging it, or a Kerrigan jumping on top of you, and you won't be able to escape. There's an abundance of gap closers that Fnatic has, especially now that Smexy has jumped straight into the Dragon.
Syndragosa at level 10. One of my favorite level 20s as well. If you do hit the Syndragosa, it will root targets for 4 seconds, but we still are a few levels away. Mexi getting caught here in the middle. We'll take the Hunter Mark, trying to live for the moment. Combo does come out, does not connect. Apocalypse hitting a couple members. Eternal moving forward with the Tormented Souls, but Shwimpy at the same time pops Maelstrom. Be able to continue moving forward. Horrify used just so the Playing Ducks can disengage.
Syndragosa value right here, connecting with every single player of the team. The Apocalypse actually hitting the backline at least and making sure that for a second they can't do any damage, so that helped a little bit. But as you can tell, nothing is going the Playing Ducks way. We are also 9.5 minutes into the game. We are nearly on level 13 for them, and we have Tyrande with 15 stacks so far, so not really getting a whole lot of value out of the Owl build. And yeah, at this point, Fnatic is 2 levels ahead. They have taken out 2 of the forts, and they're just dominating the entire map.
And they can leave Kerrigan here to clear out the shrine just fine. She'll be building up shields here as well, working on that mana with that assimilation mastery. Also getting the Ravage at 13, so she can dive a little bit further into engages. Things are looking up here for Fnatic. Playing Ducks, just trying to buy time here, even setting up a trap on the right side.
Yeah, Shrimpy absolutely rocking that cooldown reduction here. This is one of the most dangerous things, and yep, there is our trap. I'm pretty sure that, okay, Whoopi face checks the bush.
No fear.
We need to show him the video again.
Tank Uther.
Yeah.
No Dahaka here.
Okay, Breeze also trying to get another kill here, but this time it doesn't work out. Syndra Ghost is on a 20-second cooldown, so that they can't even use it with the Punisher. But instead, they're breaking through the wall. Here comes the jump, immediately trying to land the combo, but Wolfjaw moves out. Nanda as well. Right now, they're just pushing in heavily. Syndragosa is going to be ready in another couple of seconds, but I'm not quite sure if they're really going to be willing to commit it to this fight here. But they still push in with another camp. Punisher is down. Malthael is still there. Starts to jump in a bit. Playing Ducks about to hit 13, and Fnatic is already working on their level 16 talent, half a level away.
Yep, they're just trying to dangle around here a little bit, let the idea of team fighting coming up for Playing Ducks as they are an even talent, but the top lane continues to get value from the mercenary camp that was grabbed. In fact, it takes away the fort now, which gives a nice little spike in experience here for Fnatic, and they'll just play around until level 16. And 16 is scary too when you have a Kerrigan that's ahead. As mentioned, the aggressive defense is your next power spike. Having that at 16 allows for your shields to be doubled that comes in from your attacks.
For me, it's really all about Diablo on 16. Once that he is able to get that cooldown reduction and that instant reset and can just simply dart in, flip, and push into the team, it's going to be even more tricky for the Ducks to stay in a position where they can't be immediately attacked. Ancestor comes through, but again, a Sport Billy with a second mosh pit that does not connect here. Huge problem, especially since they are starting to overlay so many of their heroics. Again, Horrify was being used here, but here comes that attack. Divine Shield on Kerrigan. Down goes Rhaegar, and at the same time, Malthael just explodes. Chris is not going to get out of this one. He's going to be eliminated, and Sport Billy also falling. 15 kills against 1, a 3-level lead. Fnatic just destroying on Infernal Shrine.
Should be waiting for Nane to make the move. Goes in for the final auto attacks. We'll be able to get the Ravage, and there it is. A total of 5 members dying for the Playing Ducks. Fnatic pushes the middle lane, grabs the keep as well. Yeah,
they won't be able to go for the core just yet, but they can get the second keep up at the top if they push in with the camp, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do here. They have their 16s. Domination is going to be a big, big deal right now, so yep, makes it even harder. Keep could actually be kept alive here, but again, another Shrine activating. 4-level lead by now for Fnatic. I mean, on one hand, I think it's a super awesome game, where I like the aggression with Diablo, Arthas, and Kerrigan. On the other hand, I feel really sorry for the Ducks.
It's a hard way to go out, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, your last match again is against Fnatic, and they are absolutely destroying. But again, this is a very snowbally comp in the sense that if you keep the control of the match, having all that CC makes it very difficult for your opponent at any play. They need either a godlike Horrify or they need this absolute perfect mosh pit, and so far Sport Billy just didn't get them. Wasn't easy to get it in the first place. I mean, I'm not trying to blame him here, but it's really rough for them to get any kind of setup where they all of a sudden start to get a few kills so that they have a bit of comeback potential and snowball potential.
Part of it too is they've also overlaid the mosh pit and the Horrify together a couple times. It's just really hard when you have that much coming your way.
Yeah, exactly. It happened 2 times already, and of course that just adds insult to injury.
Well, they're working on getting 16 now, but they are a full level behind, and Fnatic now will be able to push on the bottom side. They do have Syndragosa up and available once again if they want to commit to the idea of killing this keep. Smexy posturing around.
Could go core. If they land a good Syndra, they can go core here. Smexy is already looked for it. Syndragosa comes in, and they are darting in. Here comes the lockdown. Malthael popping Tormented Souls, trying to go straight into the backline. Arthur is working on Wolfjaw. Sport Billy has the mosh pit. Could use it. Punisher is there. Keep about to fall. Syndragosa still active on it. And here comes the lockdown against Chris, but the Ancestral keeps him alive for now.
Should be able to get the combo here. Chris still low. Eternal finally falling. There's a Divine Shield with the mouse from the shields going up for Schwimpy, chasing down Chris. There is the kill. Smexy landing the Howling Blast on top of a Tyrande. Is there another combo? There she is. Another auto attack. Sport Billy gets the God tier mosh pit. but it's not going to be enough. Fnatic turns around and kills him.
That's just mean. He gets the mosh pit finally, and it's at when everyone else is dead. And he's like, team? Team? Oh, Fnatic with 21 kills to 1, taking the 2-0 lead in the series, increasing their win streak to 18-0 after they lost 2 maps to Dignitas, and 35-2 after the start of the Western Clash.
Fnatic pulling off the Kerrigan on Infernal Shrines, getting it done here. But do remember, if you're wanting to play Kerrigan now at home, you got to make sure that you have a strong